Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video we're gonna make a Travian bot. So basically we're gonna make a browser game bot using Python and using the latest tools, so artificial intelligence and a nice IDE that I just found out called Cursor AI. This is so powerful and I fell in love with this IDE when I tried this, so I wanted to share it with you. So this is the browser game. Basically, you upgrade your fields, you build troops, you attack other players. This is a private Travian server. This is my village. On the same map there are other players, and yeah, you build basically your base, build troops, attack others. And we're trying to automate all of the tasks using Python. For example, the construction of a new building, instead of doing manually, we're going to do everything with Python, just for learning purposes and to have fun and to try this new interesting tool. So basically, you see all of those files. Basically, those were created by the agent itself. I mean, I just provided him with a file with what I want to do. I told him that I want to do a Travian bot. I told him more or less the folder structure, and he just wrote all of those files with all of the functions, all of the parameters that I needed. Of course, we're gonna have to look at it and correct a lot of stuff, but it's very nice that he did all of this in such a little time, and it helps us a lot. So for doing this bot, we're gonna use all of the tools that we have available. So let's I will show you what I started with. So first of all I created an account, and I thought about what I want my bot to do and what could be the main objects. Of course, all of the details might change in the future, but this is something that I just start with. So I want an object that's an empire, basically an object that can log in, log out, and handle all of my villages, control all of my villages, find my neighbors, find the enemies, find the oasis in the map. This is kind of what controls everything. As attributes, of course, it will need to have an array containing all of my villages, an array containing all of the enemy villages, and an array containing all of the oases. Then we'll need to have an object called village that will keep track of my village. So in this case, in our village, we have some fields. Each field have a level. We have some empty spaces where we can build stuff, and we have some buildings that are already built on those spots that have a level. So we need to keep track of this. We need to keep track of all of our troops, and for this we might need the following functions. Upgrade field, a function that will basically upgrade one type of field. I don't want to control the specific field. It's not what I'm interested in. I just want to upgrade all of the wheat fields to level 10, or all of the fields at level 10. So this function might take as an input, for example, the type of field that I want to upgrade and the level to which I want to upgrade. So then upgrade buildings, the same thing. I will need to add some parameters so that I can specify what buildings I want to upgrade. A function to train troops in this specific village. A function to attack, so that will send troops from this village to another village. A function to spy, so this will send spies from my village to another village. And send reinforcements, a function that will send reinforcements from this village to another village of mine. So as attributes, I might have a field array that will contain all of the fields that I have and their levels, and an array with the buildings, so to keep track of all of my all of my buildings. Then an enemy village and an oasis kind of have the same parameters. So it have a name, coordinate, x and y on the map, population, population is not present in the oasis. Then troops that defend the village or the oasis. And I want to keep track of when I raided this place the last time, and also the loot that I got from that place. Because if I got full loot, I want to come back and loot more. So this is kind of what I started with. I have then gave this instruction together with a list of what could be the folder structure to the agent. So, and he created all of those files. The folder structure will be something similar like this. So a core folder when I keep all of my objects: empire, village, enemy, oasis, session manager, because we need to keep track of the session, because we need to send cookies from all of the requests that we make. A scheduler, because we might need to put tasks in a queue, because not all of the actions are immediate, so for some we might need to wait. And the logger that logs things on a file in case I need to debug when something bad happens. Then we might need a parser that parses maybe some information about the village, about the map, or about the combat. Then a configuration file with my credentials, for example, or all of the other variables that I may need. Utils, I will see what I'll put there later, and a main function. So I have provided this and all of this data to the Cursor AI agent. So here you have some shortcuts. Control I opens this tab, and you can talk with this agent, and an agent can generate all of those files and the code for you. So I just pasted here everything that I wanted, and he generated all of those. If you want to change something in the file, you don't need to use the agent. You can just press Ctrl K, and you can change things here. You can just say what you want to be changed. For example, change variable names to French names. So he shows you, like in a Git style, what he wants to remove and what he wants to add. If you want, you can just accept, and the modifications will be made. Otherwise, you can just reject it, and that's okay. That's very, very nice. When ChatGPT came out, he didn't have this capability, because he didn't have the context. You had to copy your code, paste it to ChatGPT, and then copy and paste back the result. This took some time, so this way of doing things is way, way faster. So I want to test this with this example with the Travian bot. Okay, so let's take a look at the game, and then we're going to start, look at all of the files, and proceed with making the bot. This is a kind of an old game. It's made in PHP, and in order to help me and to help the bot understand better how does the game works, I found GitHub Travian repository. I think it's this one. So this is kind of the source code of the game, and 4 days ago was the last modification made, so it's kind of maintained repository. And here you can find the source code. For example, here we are in Dorf1 PHP. Okay, so here we can see the code that runs on the backend that handles that page. This is very valuable information, so I downloaded this repository and I've put it inside the Travian folder. So upon containing folder. So learning material, learning for the agent. Here we are, Travian master. So the agent can see what's happening here, and I think he might find this information useful to help us write better code, because we can see all of the endpoints, all of the parameters that are needed, and much more. Here, when you talk with him, you can tag things. So I can tag a file, dorf1. He finds this that's in learning material, so I can ask information about this. I put this as a context, and I can ask him, I don't know, write a function that do anything, and he will take a look of this file, understand it, and write accordingly. That's very, very nice. Okay, let's take a look at Trivian. So first of all, we'll need to log in, and so we'll need to insert a username, a password, log in, and then we can start upgrading fields and doing stuff. Every field, when you click it, you can see in the URL have an ID. Now I have clicked the field that have ID 1. Now I have clicked the field that have ID 2. And when you upgrade it, you go to yet another endpoint that upgrades it. So we will need to make requests to the server, get back the HTML response, and then parse it. Because when I click on this field, level 8, I come here. Only now I can know what is the next parameter that I need to provide in order to upgrade this field, because I think it's generated every time. It's a different parameter every time. So when I inspect this element, now I can see that the URL is dorf1.php with parameter a, that's 4. So a should be the ID of the field, but in this call is called a, and c is 1fb, this thing. So by making a request here, this field should be upgraded to level 9, because right now it's 8. So we can test this out by going here manually. So let's see what happens. It was queued, the task that upgrades the field to level 9. So now if I refresh the page, as you can see, the level is 9. So we will need to parse the page to understand what are the links that will make our fields upgrade. This will be the first step after login. So first we'll handle the login, then this part, and then building everything, and then attacking. So let's start with the beginning. First of all, let's take a look at the code base that was provided to us. I cleaned it up a little bit, but most of it was written by the agent. So the Empire class that will handle everything will have an initiation function that will will initialize some arrays to empty arrays. So the array with my village, with my neighbors, oasis, the session that is the one that will allow me to make requests because it will keep the cookie, and the logger, and yeah, then we'll have a login function, a get my villages function that will need to be implemented, find neighbors, find oasis. Okay, so first of all, in the login function, we will import from session manager. This is the session manager class. As you can see from the comment that was added by the agent, manages HTTP session and request to the Travian server. So that's perfect. So this is the function that will make the login in the first place. So there is this function called delay requests that's here in the same file. So basically what this does is wait for a bit of time between requests. And this value can be set up. I can change it. All of the configurations variables were put into this file, config.py. So those are variables that I have inserted, the URLs, because we need this in order to make a login. I have inserted the username and password, and those other variables were pre-populated by the agent. So maybe we will need to change them later. But for now, this is what we need: user agent, variables, and the logins. So the natural way of doing things is, first of all, you go to the login page. So this is the first URL you go to. the login page. After you have gone to this page, the browser provides you a cookie, the session ID, and you will need this cookie in order to make the login. So this is what we do in the session manager. So let's take a look at the login function and fix it so that we can actually log in. And in the test function, let's write a test to see if it works or not. Okay. So let's start by Control K. Write function that makes just the login. Okay, so let's see. He imported the session manager. He defined the function. Okay, no, this is not what I wanted. I just wanted to... Okay, let's accept this. Modify it. I want... Actually, I can modify it. Yeah, an important thing is to know when to ask the agent things to do and when it's better to do it yourself, because it takes less time. So let's just write it manually. Definition, try accept, that's okay. Return, we don't need return here because we're not inside the function. So we get the session, so we initialize the session manager. Then we call the function login. And then if success, we print this. Actually, I want to print it. Okay, print things, don't log. Okay. Okay, so if everything was successful, we should see a successful login. Of course, everything will fail for now. So let's see what happens. Session manager, we initialize it. So when we initialize it, it sets this variable request delay, and it sets some variables. Okay. Then session login is called. So this function will be called, and the function will return a boolean, so true or false, and this is what we will store in this variable success. So if true, successful login, otherwise fail to login. Let's see what will happen. First of all, he will wait for a bit of time. Then it will make a GET request to the first URL, that's login PHP. Then he will create this object with the name and password, wait for the amount of time, and then make a post request to the second URL. So as I showed you, this is the first URL where you go the first time, and this is the URL that you use to actually make the login. It's a bit strange because it's dorf1, but yeah, that's how they called it. Okay, in order to understand the requests that are made, we can either use the developer tool and go to network, and you can see that a request was made to first dorf2, and those parameters were passed here. So S1 login, name, password, optimize, everything was passed here, and a response was given to us. So we need to recreate this same request. Okay. For okay, in order to see this better, because this is not a view that I like, I prefer to use Burpsuite. So Burpsuite is a tool that allows you to see all of the requests. It's a proxy, so the requests don't go from my browser to the server directly, goes from my browser to this proxy, Burpsuite, and then from the proxy they go to the server. On their way back, they go to the proxy, and then they go to my browser. This is very handy because you can intercept requests, modify them, and most of all, you can see them very clearly. So that's what I want to see them. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's give him some time. Okay. So Burpsuite, in order to link Burpsuite with the browser, we just start Burpsuite. You set up Burpsuite to listen on a port. In my case, it should be 8000, I think. We have to see. And then here in the browser, you should create a new entry. So let's see, where was it? Proxy settings. In my case, I'm listening on 127.0.0.1. That's the local host. Port 8080. Perfect. So in the browser, I need to create a new proxy. Burpsuite. Hostname is 127.0.0.1. Port is 8080. Now we are good to go. So right now the traffic is not going to Burp, but when I choose Burpsuite here, all the traffic is going through Burp. I'm okay with that because he understands that I'm not talking with the Travian server anymore. I'm talking with someone else. That's the Burpsuite. In the Burpsuite, I can see here HTTP history, and I can see all the requests that goes from the browser to the server. As you can see, we see some Travian traffic. These are the requests from Travian, but we see all of other garbage. We will see also the YouTube traffic and every other tab traffic. This is not what I want. So in the scope, I add an advanced scope, and I want to see only the requests to NOR7 TWRs. Okay, now in the proxy tab, if we delete all those selected items, here we will see only the requests from Travian. So when I go to the map, I see the map. When I go to reports, I see the reports. And here I see those two requests, only the one for the map, that's cart, and one for reports. When I go to resources, click on a field and upgrade it, I see those three requests. That is going, let's order them like this. I go to the DORF1 page, that's the fields page. I select the field with ID 1, and then I upgrade it using this request. So all of those requests are GET requests. The difference is that mostly with POST request you want to change something and you can pass POST parameters, while with GET you just want to read things. But this is kind of an old application. They change the status of the application using a GET. Yeah, you can do it as you want, but this is not the usual way of doing things. Anyway, here we can see everything. So those are all the parameters that we have passed to the server, and this is what the server told us. So we asked for the page DORF1 of this host, and we gave the server those cookies. This is one cookie, This is another cookie. This is another cookie. Okay, we use this user agent, and we can copy this user agent and put it in our session manager. I saw a Mozilla somewhere. Maybe I've moved it in config. Here is it. User agent and accepted languages. Okay, let's copy the user agent so that we will use the same user agent in our requests. So the requests from the bot will be undistinguishable from the requests from the browser, more or less, because we're not going to copy all of those fields. So this will be the thing that someone can use to distinguish from a normal browser from a bot. If the traffic comes from a bot, they might send less headers. Okay, so with this tool set up, we can go and see how does the login process look like. So during the login process, we start from here. Let's clear this thing. Delete selecting items. Yes. So we go to login, the first click, then we click here, and we are logged in. Let's see what happened. So first we get the login PHP. Secondly, we have made a post request to dorf1.php, and in the post request we have passed those parameters: the machine, the name, the password, mobile optimization, S1, and some other parameters. And the server answered us with set cookie. So it means like, okay, I understand that you're a player, the credentials are correct, please use this cookie from now on. Because the first time I used another cookie, I guess. No, I used the same cookie, but okay. He says, keep using this cookie and you are now logged in. And this is a 302, so redirect. So he tells us like, okay, but go to dorf1 now. So I will go to dorf1, the browser get this request, and he will go again to dorf1, but this time he will be logged in. And this is it. So those are the 3 requests that we need to make. Let's see what we do so far. The session manager do this. So we make a first request here. This should be the first request to this login PHP URL. The session will remember the cookie, and then he will prepare username and password, and he will send username and password to the server, and then make a post request this time, because as we have seen here, the first request is a get, the second one is a post, and you need the post to log in. So okay, and then we make a post request. We wait, and then if login PHP in a response URL, we write this. Otherwise, we read this. Okay, I think it will kind of crash when he got here. Let's see what happens when we just test it like this. Test. Successful login. Okay. Interesting. So it means that the success variable was set to true. It was set to true. It means that this branch was executed. If login PHP was in the response URL. Okay, let's see what this response URL contains. We can put a breakpoint here, and we can run this again, but we can run this in debug mode, so it will stop here. It will run the code in our test file. It will go on. When he gets here, he will activate the login function. He will start executing the login function, and when he will get here, he will stop. So we can see what happens. And so debug. Uh, mm, where are we? We're in session manager. We have a problem here, maybe. Exception occurred. No module data. Oh. But so I was expecting to get here. Maybe we can just continue. No module name data. Well, the first time this worked, right? Because maybe I should run this test in debug, because this must run. Yeah, now we got here. So this code was executed. So this means the first request was made, the second request with the post data was made, and we received a response. This is the response that we received. It's called login response. And this check wants to see if login PHP is in login response.url. Here are the variables that are set right now. So some variables was set here. For example, login data is a variable that we have. Since we defined it as name, username, password, here we can see it. See, name is this one, password is this one. What? This should not be correct. This is not correct. So first of all, the parameters are wrong. We could check the parameters here. Yeah, this is not the password. This is the password. And hold on. So the credentials that I used is this. So this is the username. I don't use the email anymore. Is this the password? Let's see. Yes. Now the credentials are correct. So let's run it again. So see, the debugging function is so useful because you can see what happens, you can see all of the variables, and if something is odd, you see it right now, right there. So now it's correct. Machina, perfect. Now he will check to see if login PHP is in login response URL. The login response is an object that was created by the requests library, and this object contains all of the important information about the response that the server gave us. So let's see what the server told us. Okay, so the login response have this variable that's called content, but we are looking for something called URL. Does it exist? Yeah, the URL is this one, dorf1. Of course, login.php is not present here. This should be a check to understand if the login failed. And in order to do this, he will check the URL. This means that when we make a correct login, we will get here and we will have this URL, right? So this means correct login. While if we make an incorrect login, for example, we put a wrong password, we will get redirected here. That's the same, right? Yeah, so since the URL is the same, either when you do a correct login and an incorrect login, This function that was written by the agent is wrong. We must change it so that we understand when we did a successful login or not. Let's see. Now the status code is 200 because we did a correct login. So we might want to use this parameter, status code. Let's see what happens if we make a login with an incorrect username or password. I want to see if this status code changes. Oh no. So I need to run the test in debug mode. So now the login was wrong. Still the response from the server is 200. Okay, so this is not something that we can use. We must find something else. I don't want to look inside the whole content because this is the whole file. Because we could use that, of course. Because when you make an incorrect login, as you see, the content of the file contains this particular string. The password is wrong. But okay, let's use this. So here we need to modify the logic. Modify the logic. A wrong login displays the string this inside the content variable. Let's see how he does it. So he wants to remove the login PHP is in the response URL, and he will say like, if the password is wrong in content, content, yeah, that's true. Okay, I accept. He did it in 2 steps. Like first he assigned login response txt. I mean, he used the text. Where is the text? I don't think there's a text. I don't think there's a text at all. I think the login response has the content. Here it is. It's the same thing, but it's a string. Instead, the content is a byte array. This B is a byte array. That's perfect. So he's smart. He understood this. Okay, I will put it in just one line. So if the password is wrong, is present in the text, and when we do it wrong, you see it, this thing means that the login failed. Otherwise, it means that the login was true. So let's test it now. Let's test this again. So I'm expecting to see the script enter that branch because we have set up a wrong username. Okay. I think I have to go here. Wait. So the breakpoint did not. The breakpoint was not reached, but yeah, of course, because. Okay, let's stop here. Let's stop at the if. Okay. Oh no, I have run the session manager.py. This is not what I wanted to run. And of course, if I run this file, I get this error. I want to run the test py with the breakpoint on the other line that I showed you. Okay. Okay, so we have stopped here. Let's see the login response. Actually, no, it's too long. I can see it, but I can see where the next step is. So it should be step into. Okay, so it got to the else branch. So if password is wrong, is present in login response text, he should have entered this branch, but he did not. So it means that it's not present there. Let's see. Text, copy value. So this is the whole text. It's kind of a very long string. And can we find this? Indeed, we cannot find it. It's not here. That's strange. Okay. Okay, I think I know what's happening. So let's take a look at the request that we made. Delete selected items. So now I show you a nice trick. So this this happened. It was not present because please enter captcha once was present, maybe. No? No. Okay, let's see what happened here. I sent the post. The response was okay. So this was the answer, okay? I sent this to the comparer, and I went to compare the response that the server gave me now. This captcha is something that we might have to handle later. The password is wrong. This captcha is something that will create problems. So let's clear the cache. And also the cookies. And start from scratch. Okay, so the first time I do it, I have to say I'm not a robot. Then I can log in. Okay, the captcha is an ugly variable that we have to handle. So if I cancel everything, okay, and go here, can I log in without telling them I'm a robot? Login. No, I cannot. If I do it, I don't get to the second step where I can actually make the post request. So I think the problem is before that, with this first request, but actually I want to bypass it. I want to go directly to the second one and make a post request. That's everything. Like, I don't care if this shows up, but no, I don't know if that's possible. So in this case, I've passed those parameters, and he said to me something captcha. So please enter captcha again. Here it is. Please enter captcha again. Okay. But I don't see it in my response. That's odd. What if I insert the wrong password. Okay, that will need a bit of troubleshooting, so I will troubleshoot it and then tell you the answer. Okay, we're gonna try something else. The login, we will do it manually. Okay, we'll do the login manually, prove that we're not a robot. Then we're gonna take the cookie from here called sesh ID, and we're gonna provide the bot with the cookie, and the bot will start from there. Okay, he will not do the login for us. We do the login and we provide the bot with the cookie. So we'll start from there. So let's see. We have to refactor this whole thing. So we select everything, Control K, modify this class. We will not log in anymore. In order to create a session, we will provide the cookie manually to the init function, and the cookie was called sysID, will be used in all the next requests. Okay, let's see. So instead of importing username, password, first login, first URL, of course, he will just get the header, and in the header we will put the session ID. That's perfect. We won't have a base URL. Actually, we will need that. All of the login logic will be cancelled. That's okay. I'm okay with everything. So accept. Perfect. Now let's take a look at the initialization function. So we will need to provide them a session ID. So when this object is initialized, the session manager, session cookie set, he will put this cookie here for this domain. That's okay. And I think that's okay. So let's see if this thing works. From the config, he will take this user agent and accept language. That's okay. We won't need this two values anymore. I have them saved here, so we can get rid of them. We don't need that anymore. Indeed, I don't want to. First I add here the session ID, and this autocomplete is so nice. You see, I go new line, and he understood that I wanted the session ID. Oh no, that now he don't autocomplete anymore, because here it is. That's perfect. Oh, here it is. Okay, perfect. So I will just manually put the session ID here, and he will take it from here. So the session manager will take also the session ID from the data config, and he will use the session ID here. Actually, yeah, he won't need this in the initialization function. He will get it from the config file, and then he should be able to make requests. Now we have to try this, and to see if he can get the first page, this resource page. So when you get this page, you can see, for example, some values. For example, you will see this div. Okay, so copy this, not this, or outer HTML. So if we see this after a GET request to the dorf1, it means that we're logged in. Okay, let's try it. Make a request to the dorf1 page. Session manager, as you can see, it's initialized with no parameters, and then we get the first page. And hold on a second, I need some music. That should be good. So let's continue. Okay, we make a GET request for this page. If response, of course, this don't make sense because we will always get a response. What I want to see is what is the response. That's the thing that we're interested. So let's put a breakpoint here and run it. Okay, let's run it again. He got to the first breakpoint that we have set up earlier. We can just continue until the last one. Now we are here. We got a response. This is the response. That's perfect. Let's copy it and see if it contains indeed this string. It's very big, but we just need to look for this. Something that have this string. Okay. Oh. I don't see it. It's okay. Let's just search for this string because this string should be visible only when you log in. It's not present, so it means that something did not work correctly. So we need to understand what. That's kind of difficult to do from here. Okay, so this is Visual Studio Code. We need to beautify it. I don't remember the keys that I need to press in order to beautify. So Shift Alt F, let's see. Shift Alt F. It doesn't look that beautified. No, that's not working. Prettier. Prettier. Okay, so we might need to install it. I just installed it just 1 second. Okay, so I didn't formatted it, but I figured out that I could just save it as an HTML file and then open it and then see how it looks like. So I saved it in learning material. Um, Here, error one. So this is the page that I've got. So as we can see, we're still on the login page because it says welcome to server TT North 7. Forgot password. So those are all elements that you can look for to understand if we logged on. If we didn't log on successfully, we will see forgot password, or we will see login, or information for this. Yeah, all of this information is present when you fail to log in. I thought that my error was that I didn't replicate exactly this request. You see, I have only inserted some of the parameters, not all of them. I just passed name and password. So this it's a possibility that they checked for the presence of these parameters. They didn't find them, so they didn't allowed me to log in. Let's try to add them. So this one seems to be a time. So maybe it's uh, epoch time. So maybe it's the time when this request was made. So now it's 10 hours, 50 minutes, 3 seconds. This is so 608, 607. Yeah, this is a date in the past. So it might be this. I will do it again, but this time I will respect the natural flow and do everything as it should be done. So for example, when I log in, a lot of other parameters are passed to the server, but still the server don't trust me. Okay, but let's try with all of the parameters. So the session manager, when it will make a request, let's see, what are all the headers? The headers are saved here, but no. So we might want to go back to the first trial that we make. So a first request with the login and then the actually registration. I'm just thinking what's the best way to do it. Okay, we're gonna try some things. So I'm not a robot. So this is a successful login. Let's see. Delete selected items. Okay. So the request to get this, I will make this same exact request. So in the request, it was so simple. I mean, this is the cookie, the session ID, the low resolution, the trivial mobile beta, and this other two parameters. Those, I don't know if they are they change or they are the same. So this first request gave me this response. So I just compare this response, send to compare, and this I will make again and again this request. So the first time I made it, it went well. And this is the answer that is telling me that everything went well. I make it again right now. So if this is a parameter that depends on the time, I should have done it wrong this time. So this answer is the wrong answer. I mean, this should not let me in. So I go to compare, and let's compare those two requests. As you can see, one is a bit longer, but I think they're kind of the same. Let's compare them. So, the thing that changes the time, of course. But what about the content? In the content, is it something that changed? Yeah. In this one, I see buttons. Button 1. And in this one, I see other kind of buttons. So what is this? Button wrapper. Why should the button change? But anyway, it seems like I'm still logged in. Okay, so it's not like I'm logged out, because if I do something wrong, for example, the session ID wrong, the response will be this one, send to compare. So this is the response of a wrong login. As you can see, the length is very different. And if we compare those two, one successful login with the one unsuccessful login, we will see a lot of differences this time. Okay. Yeah, all of this part is different. Really, everything is different. So now I'm curious, what happens if I get rid of those? Okay. Will I still be able to log in? Send. I have received this answer. Let's see how long it is. Send to comparer. Oh, you see, it's an invalid, it's a failed login attempt. So one of those values are indeed required. Let's see if it's the last one. I remove the last one. So I just oh, I have also the renderer. Row. Give me a second. I want to see if I can see the length from here. I mean, yeah, I can, because it's 476 rows. So 476 rows means successful login, right? So to compare, no, it means unsuccessful login. Oh, something have changed. Now I cannot use this anymore. So this might be something time related. Maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes passed, and I can't use it anymore. Ah, that sucks. Anyway, in this case, let's clear everything. I want to send the request this time to the comparer. I want to compare different requests to see what are the variables that change. So right now, let me go and do another login request. Oh, this captcha is so hard to deal with. Send to compare the request. So we have those two requests. Let's see how they differ from each other. As you can see, this is the same. This parameter is the same. Only the session ID changed. Everything else is the same. So the answer is, why did I got logged out of the first session? It seems like I did something wrong, for example. Let's try. I will use this session ID in my browser. So session ID, I need to copy this. Maybe not from here. So this is the here is the request that I made when I passed the captcha. Okay. And after that, he let me in because the captcha was successful. Session ID. Did this change? Because it seems like this stays the same the whole time. Let's keep track of it. First cookie. If I delete all my cookies, clear the cache. Of course, I am logged out, and now I need to log in again. I log in with captcha. Let's see the request. Post. This is the login request with the captcha. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. This is a get request. So the get request worked because I was already logged in. The post made me log in. So I want to yeah, I think this is not the tutorial that you expected, but this is the reality of things. You will pass hours debugging things and try to make things work. So this is the first step, the login. Okay, I will solve this and then come back for the more interesting stuff.